On live. We're going live. We're going live. It's Friday. It's Friday. Morning Five Planner. Quote the very top. Ready for this, y'all? This comes from Tasha Rollins. Don't let your attachment to the past be greater than your commitment to the future. Don't let your attachment to the past be greater than your commitment to the future. This is a quote submitted by someone in our community. It's at the very top of your Morning Five planner. If you have not grabbed one, make sure that you do. I love that quote. This morning I was journaling. Today is January the 12th. January the 12th. Tomorrow is my baby's birthday, my little girl's birthday. And I was writing in my journal, how in the world is this girl right here? Look at her. Isn't she cute? My baby. How is she going to be 11 tomorrow? 11 years old. I couldn't believe it. But then I had the thought after I journaled, like, oh, my baby's growing up. She's growing up. That, man, what a gift to be able to move into the future with her and watch her grow into a teenager and an adult and be able to walk this path with her. What a gift. Man, my attachment to the past not being greater than my commitment to the future. Listen, y'all, we got an incredible guest. Glenn's about to pop in here. We had to have an incredible time. Get your morning started off right. Look, if I can talk. Listen, y'all, it's early. It's early.
Good morning and welcome to Rise and Grind Live. Unlock your full potential with the power of daily motivation, education, inspiration with your host, Glenn Lundy, a husband to one, father to eight, global motivational speaker, and the author of The Morning Five.
I'm Heather Parody, former therapist turned online entrepreneur and wannabe comedian.
Celebrity interviews, transformational information, and a massive community around the #1 morning show in the world. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind.
What's going on? Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. Y'all been backing it all up all week long. How's it been for y'all? How did you feel about this conversation around reverse aging, challenging the norm of what it means to get older? I know it's a sensitive topic. It's a little uncomfortable because it requires a change of thought, maybe a change in routine and patterns, but it gets me all pumped up because this week, what we've been talking about, man, is possibility. The possibility of things improving, the possibility of things actually working out for you, for things to get better instead of worse, like culture will tell you, right? So this falls just in line with what Tasha was saying this morning. Don't let your attachment to the past be greater than your commitment to the future. If this is your first time here, my name's Heather Parody, and Glenn Lundy is about to pop in here in just a second. Today has been a morning for Glenn. It's been a morning. Excited to get him in here and our incredible guests that I'm super excited to talk to. I got a million questions. But before we get started, if you guys will do me a favor and hit the share button, go ahead and get some more folks in here, tag them. I know we're normally live on YouTube. As you know, when your girls running this show, it don't run as tight as Glenn Lundy, but that's okay. My reps are getting stronger and stronger. And one of these days, this show is going to run super smooth when Heather's back here. So y'all remember that I said it. Listen, this morning, we got to connect with an incredible entrepreneur, award-winning filmmaker, producer, mentor, TEDx speaker, restaurateur. A restaurateur. What's that? You're about to find out. We have Dolapo Erinkitola with us today, and man, you can talk about vision. This man has a vision. One of the things that he was just sharing with me about as a filmmaker, he's passionate about paying it forward to future generations, folks who are pouring their heart and soul into the arts. And he actually holds screenings for up and coming artists. And there's a little clip that I wanted to show you where his community was talking about how these screenings have impacted them and what it's done for their lives. I'm going to show you a real quick clip, and then we're going to pop him in here. Check this out.
it's a blessing, man. And, you know, just to get to this level and to continue to level up, you know what I'm talking about, and surround yourself around a body of positive people. Because after all the trials and tribulations that many of us experience, to see each day that we getting better, you know what I'm talking about?
I want to look at the spirit of a thing. Like, I'm interested in the why. Like, who, what, when, where is good, but I want to know their why.
You know what? I'm looking for honesty, truth, authentic. It's very hard to put out vulnerability of your work, and so for them to come out there and put in that work, that's courage. That's beautiful, and so I'm just excited to see what they have.
It's extremely important because in Atlanta, there's so many films and TV projects and indies and all of these things being shot here in Atlanta. But how many are they from Black filmmakers?
Get critique, come out to this event. If you want support, if you just want an attaboy, or if you want somebody to tell you what's real, come out to this event,
Dolapo screening room. That's where it's at.
It's one of the best things that we could have done. And keep in mind now, we've done this film almost a year and a half ago.
So it felt really good being up there. I felt the crowd really enjoyed my teaser, and then the fact that the panel had good things to say and gave me good advice, I'm looking forward to putting that into play.
People want to see more in your trailer.
Ooh, we got Dolapo in the house this morning. What's going on, friend? And Glenn Lundy, good morning, sir. How's it going?
Well, good morning. Good morning. What's up, Dolapo? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Good morning. How you guys doing?
So good. So
morning.
good. So good.
Yeah,
Now,
good.
listen, this says award-winning film producer and then restaurateur. I was picking at you before this this call because I was so curious. I'm like, man, how in the world? Those are two huge visions running.
Mhm.
You have two restaurants in Atlanta. That is a full-time job. But also, side note, you're also producing films, holding these events where people are getting the spotlight and you're investing in your community. What's the big term vision here for you, and how in the world are you able to balance all of these hats, man?
I think just looking at whatever you do, finding ways that you can overlap and pay it back, right? So just think about it. The restaurant industry is far different from the film industry. And luckily for me, related to the restaurant industry, I surround myself with people who know way more than me. So I have wonderful partners at both of my restaurants, my brewery in Chicago. I have wonderful partners that help me out and balance that time. Related to film and music, so for example, if I want to shoot a bar scene or a restaurant scene, guess where I'm going to shoot it, right? So I'm going to leverage the resources that I have in order to find overlap. At the restaurants, we look at DJs, we showcase artists, and guess what? Those artists now submit their music to be in the movie, and now they have a different exposure. So there's ways to find overlap if you're really looking. And even though they're on two opposite sides of the spectrum, believe me, there's a lot more than meets your eyes related to commonality and ways to give back. And then the final thing is like, you mentioned DSR. DSR is Dolapo Screening Room, and we host it in one of our restaurants here. And we have young filmmakers from Atlanta. Some actually fly from other states. They come to show their projects, and then we fill the room with industry experts, executives, um, producers, people looking for talent, even funding people who are funding projects, and we allow them to be in the room, and then we get deals happening. We had someone sell their project to I guess I can say the platform Peacock, and that was based on them coming to DSR and showing their trailer. So again, you can use those platforms or those different industries together if you're looking for it. There you go.
You're muted, Glenn. You're muted.
Super smart way to look at things, to overlap, to create that space. What's that background you got behind you right now? Is that one of your?
Believe it or not, I'm in the restaurant and I'm here with my team. Say hello, everybody. So I'm not here by myself, man. I've got the whole staff here, and we're always working. So yeah, we're here.
Incredible question for you. When it comes to your upbringing, I heard the story of your parents, how they came over, how they had built a life. Everything was great. You and 9 other siblings, which I got 8 kids, brother.
Oh,
So
so that okay.
yeah, I got 6 girls and 2 boys, and then I grew up in a house of 8 myself. And so I understand that dynamic.
Uh-huh.
They had it all together. Their relationship fell apart. 6 months later, you guys are homeless.
Mm-hmm.
I know you learned a lot of leadership lessons from your parents during that particular season. Right now, here you are, restaurants, films. It sounds like you're doing really, really well. What lessons did you learn specifically from that you're applying now to make sure that you don't repeat that same experience going from super successful to the other side?
I think it's taking away the understanding and appreciation of where each season can bring you, to use your phrase. If you know, I grew up very, very well. You know, we took our summers in Europe, and then, like I mentioned, my dad went through a bout of depression, so we experienced the other side. But it allows you then to appreciate and humble yourself when you get back there. So I was lucky. You know, I made my first million at 32, but I didn't live like that. I made sure that I took that, and stayed humble and reinvested myself and reinvested in other projects. So I think the biggest takeaway is learning that it goes like this. It has ebbs and flows, and you have to be along for the entire ride and know that you're not going to stay there. I think the quote of today was, "Don't let something from your past carry into your future." So I don't let that experience from my past define who I am today. The universe did not want me to stay there, so I don't. But what I do is I take that information, I take the knowledge, and I use it to make sure that I'm pushing the envelope further.
That's good. You mentioned earlier about how these different ventures of yours kind of play into each other and feed one another, which makes a lot of sense. But when you're kind of getting the ball rolling at the very beginning, that's not necessarily the case. I'm curious. I know I have Eldon Smith is in the room. I believe this is his first time commenting. I'm so glad that you are jumping in. Eldon Smith, I'm going to call you out. This man I know has a event that he's working on and trying to get into the community, and he's in the beginning stages of it. And so getting that ball rolling and the traction where you get to the point where you're at right now, where you can, your ventures are feeding into each other and it's actually moving forward. Man, any words of advice for folks who are taking the necessary steps but not necessarily seeing the traction? Is it a patience game, or what do you think?
I want to say it's a belief game. One of my favorite books is called The Alchemist. And in The Alchemist, if you've read The Alchemist, it tells you that the universe, if you try, the universe will conspire to allow you to be successful. And sometimes you don't know where that's going to happen, right? But if you have the belief and move forward, it's almost like magic. This person will appear out of nowhere and start to help you. So my biggest advice is don't wait and do. You don't have to have everything lined up, because if you wait for everything to get lined up, you're never going to start. And guys, I'm telling you, it's Friday morning. Now's the time. Today is the day. You don't have to wait. If you get up and you start doing it, the universe will help.
Ooh, I wasn't ready for you this morning, Lord Jesus.
We actually just did a study around, so I've read The Alchemist many times, and then as a community, we release a different book each month that we recommend for our community to dive into, and then we talk about it on the show. We do segments on it, and we just recently talked about The Alchemist. When was that? The last month or the month before?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, we were on The Alchemist. It's an incredible book. So I love that you brought it back to the table, because just that story of finding what's true for you and the journeys we have to go on to reach that. My mom watches the show, and she is, what is my mom? She probably won't want me to say how old she is, but anyway, she's in her 60s.
Okay, Mom.
She's in her 60s somewhere. She read The Alchemist for the first time last month, and it sparked a conversation between her and I. And she's on a journey of discovering herself again at what life looks like for her in her 60s now. And I'm so proud of what she's been able to do. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, if I could just add to that, one thing that's unique about that book is it doesn't matter the generation. Everyone can relate to it, and they have a different perspective, but their takeaways are always positive and how to kind of make it through a journey. I give it to my mentees to read. I know my older brothers read it. My mentors have read it. So I think it spans generations. It's a very unique read, and it's a testament that your mother can read it, and now, she's having that same aha, right?
Pretty wild, man.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Hey, you had a lot of leadership lessons in your life. I love in your TED talk you talked about how you were responsible for your sister that came after you. If she did something wrong, you got in trouble, right?
You guys do your homework, yeah.
Wow. But they were teaching you leadership lessons. You also talked about leadership lessons like if there were other leaders in the room, you got to eat first. But if you were the leader in the room, you had to eat last, right? I love how you shared those stories that made them so memorable and connectable. Now that you're further in your career, what are some leadership lessons that maybe you've learned that didn't come from your parents, but that you've learned from the experiences you have now that you can share with our audience, those that are looking to lead and build their own things in their lives today?
Wow. I want to say one that comes to mind is just being a business owner or being an entrepreneur. It is so very easy for someone to say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, and you're wearing a tie coming into work. The people that I know that are successful in business, they're more connected to the operations. They know how to do each facet of the job. And I think there's a gap now from the business people that are coming up versus, and you don't have to be an expert in each position, right? But you have to know how to fill that gap if something happens. I truly believe that, you know, um, making sure that you're part of the group that truly understands every asset makes you um, makes you that much stronger. And I would dare say that I think it's helped me along the way. It really helped me along the way.
It's interesting that you point to that because I kind of, and maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe it's because of the technology that exists now. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I do have a couple people in my organization alone and others that I've talked to that have an entrepreneur spirit, but they're so quick to want to hire someone for all the roles, right? They're like, okay, if I can put 10 people in this and have 5 people doing this and 3 people do this and 2 people do this, then I can sit up here and collect checks off of everybody's work. Right. And I'm always like, whoa. First, you got to figure out how to do it. Right. Like you need to know how to do it before you can hire people to do it. So I think it's really interesting that you bring that up. I didn't know if that was, I guess I didn't realize that was the thing that other people were experiencing as well.
Yeah. And, honestly, it gets to the point where you can now take your hands off of operations. But even if you take your hands off of operations, you're leaving operations knowing that you've mastered at least every role where you can now move away. The problem is when people hold on too tight and they want to do everything and micromanage, you'll never be able to scale. You'll be at, one movie, one restaurant, one this, one that. You have to be able to multitask. Last year at the height of, the busyness, I think I was shooting 4 movies at the same time while running the restaurants. So, but again, it's your mindset, how you look at it.
What's your roles in the films? It says producer. So what role do you play in those?
It's interesting because it's several different types of roles. I typically sit as the executive producer, and the executive producer basically is the top of the food chain, right? They see that the project is written correctly. That means the script is tight. You get together the team, your director, your DP, your lighting, your this, your that, your producer. You're basically almost like the project manager for the entire project. The buck stops with you, making sure that we don't go over budget, making sure that we have the right talent, and more importantly, at the end of the day, making sure that we can sell the project, right? because if you shoot a film and no one buys it, you just have an expensive home movie. I don't want that. I want something where it's going to turn a profit, and you have to make sure from the beginning to the end, someone is actually looking at it, making sure that you're connecting the dots. So that's the seat I sit in when it comes to film.
You definitely don't want an expensive home movie.
No, man.
That's the last thing anybody wants is a really expensive home movie. Y'all know how bad it is already with your home movies. Just get started to watch it. You don't want a really expensive one. Hey, something Heather won't tell you, bro. She's an actress, man. She's an actress.
Oh yeah, let me tell you.
Why are you hiding that, Heather?
Listen.
I just had open
comedy. She was in The Walking Dead. She's been a zombie. She's made some other short films. She's a humble human, but she's
okay.
I'm about to pop you out of here, Glenn Lundy. I'm
respect. I got to check out your IMDb.
Thank you. I've been telling Glenn to get this show on IMDb. I think that would be awesome because I mean, this many episodes, this many amazing guests, it'd be really cool.
I don't even really know what that is. What is that? IMDb. What is that?
It's
Internet Movie Database.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah,
she knows what she's talking about.
Oh, she knows her stuff, bro. She knows her stuff. Yeah, we've done 1,400 episodes of this show. We're going.
That's what I was telling him, and and I told him the way the mission of the show and all of that. I mean, you got pretty excited, friend. You were like, yeah, man, that's what I'm about. And it was funny because when we do these interviews, it's not often that you already hear rustling and bustling in the background. There were people talking, and I'm like, not only are you awake, you're around people who are awake, and y'all are like already in motion. And it was like 5:15. So what is your like morning routine like? Like, how do you actually start your day and so forth? Because man, that's a lot of energy put out into the world that you're giving. And I'm just curious, how do you like refill your cup and kind of take care of yourself, whether it's a morning routine, nighttime routine? What's your philosophy there?
I take a lot of naps. I sleep in the car from time to time. People don't understand, but I'm not afraid to take those, to make those sacrifices because I know the end game. One thing I always tell myself is you have to have an end game on out time. So I can't sustain this indefinitely, but if I can do this for 2 years and reach my goals, and then I can make some adjustments. So that's where I am with it. I don't pretend to be a Superman or anything like that, but I do know, I have a date in mind, and my employees are listening. I don't want to say anything, but there's a date in mind where I know I won't have to do this. Yeah. Not like this. I mean, I could tweak it a little bit.
Yeah. Build. And that's the key, right? We're always building and evolving to create that next milestone so that we can build and evolve, so that we can create the next milestone so that we can build and evolve, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
And our missions and visions and what we have, they're for us, right? They're for us. So I love that that's what you're experiencing right now. Tell me real quick, what is the most new and exciting thing in your world, right? Here we are 2023, 2024. Here we are 2024. There's AI technologies, there's things that are going on a global level, there's economic things, like there's a lot going on in today's day and age. What are you most excited about in your industry, whether it be the restaurant side or the movie side, in 2024 and beyond?
I think for me, it's the film side. We just came off a strike, and there were a lot of people that weren't working, and some people actually had to start at ground zero. A lot of businesses closed, the smaller businesses, if you will, in the film industry that didn't have like the savings. So a lot of people went to the roadside. So now the industry is churning again and people are making film, there's a lot of excitement that you didn't have a year ago because maybe people were burnt out and things like that. Now everyone is hungry. And when I say hungry, they're hungry. People are willing to just, hey, let me just come on your set and help you. With that type of energy, especially in Atlanta, we're going to create really good things. We have a lot of new studios opening in Atlanta, and I rep Atlanta because Atlanta's, it's
come on, go ahead.
And trust me, that title is deserved. We create more films here now than actual California. So because of our tax incentive that we have here, everybody's shooting here. And so the biggest thing that we had to overcome is that people would come here and shoot films, but they would bring the talent. They would bring the crew. And they really weren't using or utilizing the talent here in Georgia. That's changing. We've got people who are now seasoned, who have done their homework, who are now technical and can do the work. And with the excitement, I think 2024 is going to be nothing but, explosions and, excitement. And we're going to see a lot of really good projects coming out.
What's your train of thought with there's kind of the conventional advice of going, get the agents, go the, conventional path, meet the right people, blah, 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 go that path versus making your own content. I've kind of seen like two schools of thought there and maybe a mixture in between. What's your school of thought of a filmmaker or a writer or an actor coming into this space? Where's the role for convention when things are so much in our hands right now with these freaking phones, man?
Yeah, I'll tell you, if we're at the stage now, especially if you're in the film industry, you only eat what you kill. And if you're waiting for someone to bring that deer in your arena,
I'm about to
you're
slap
going to be waiting a
somebody.
long time.
So good.
You have to be willing to do the auditions or take the job, work for hire, and then on the backside, put together your own project, because that's where it's at.
Yes.
And you have to learn to negotiate. You see talent and also, those working on the film asking for points, or asking for, hey, give me some type of equity in it, or instead of paying me, just give me this on the back end. People, I think, are starting to understand how this thing really, really works. So you're going to get less people getting taken advantage of, and more people truly understanding the business side of the industry. So I would say, to answer your question, Heather, be a hustler. Get your job, but also hustle on the side. And hustle means creating your own content.
Ooh.
Love
Got a question here. Pastor Jeff got a question. What advice would you give to a new Full Sail University student filmmaker? Oh, I'm in my 60s.
It does. Hey, I love that. Welcome to the team. And I would say you have to humble yourself. So don't be afraid to be a PA. Don't be afraid to go on set and just offer your services for free, because what happens is you meet people. And especially if you're in your season of understanding, and if you're 50, 60 and beyond, you're in the season of understanding. That means your conversations with people are very different. You know the right questions to ask. They take you more seriously. So your 30 minutes is like someone's 8 hours. So being on set is really going to pay dividends for you. So I would say volunteer. Doesn't matter what it is, just get on set.
I love that, man. You talked about a newfound appreciation, right? People's jobs were taken away. They were in the middle of the strike. They couldn't work. Now there's a newfound appreciation. People are like, get me in, coach. Get me in. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play, right?
Mm-hmm.
That newfound appreciation. What about for you specifically? What did you learn through that strike, through that season, that you're now applying, that you're going to utilize and leverage to reach your goals moving forward?
I think I had to learn the hard way that relationships are really, really important. And when you understand the whole structure of the industry, you understand why people have to do what they have to do. So if I tried to shoot an independent project, but people didn't want to cross the picket line, and even though that we were friends, I had to understand. They would rather starve than cross the picket line. And I had to, I got it. But for me, from the business side, I'm like, well, how are you going to eat? But I had to understand their resolve. And if I was going to be a part of the industry, which I am, I had to respect that and also stand on that side. So I learned a lot about real loyalty, doing your homework, understanding the whys of people, why they move. I'll give you an example. When I first got in this industry, I took acting lessons, not to be an actor, but I asked the acting instructor to tell me how actors think. So when I'm an executive producer, I know what's in their head. You got to understand how people move in order for you to be successful. And the strike really helped me understand why people move a certain way. It's important.
Let's go. I'm kind of curious about a mountain, man. I don't know about you, Glenn Lundy, but I think
All right,
time to
man.
put him on the mountain yet, or what do you
All
think?
right, all right. We're going to the mountaintop.
Here we go.
Mountain. Okay, here we go.
All right, it's Erinkitola, right? Erinkitola?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, Mr. Erinkitola, you are on top of the mountain. We're going to put you on top of the mountain, all right? the
Okay.
highest mountain on planet Earth. We're at the top of the mountain. And at the base of the mountain is all of civilization. Everybody, there's 8 billion people at the base of the planet, all right? And they're cheering your name, right? They're cheering it out. Erinkitola, 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 Erinkitola. They're cheering it out, right? And somebody, we don't know who, but somebody walks over and they hand you a microphone. And they say, sir, you've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to drop something on them, practical application, some piece of wisdom they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
I would say, hey guys, it feels good being up here. Thank you for the mic. But I have to say, carpe effing diem. Carpe effing diem. You cannot wait. So seize the day. And I always tell the story of my dad. My dad was an immigrant here, and he came over, and my dad was like, okay, stress education, stress leadership. But he said, I want your offsprings to be doctors, and I want those doctors to produce senators. And the reason why he said that is because his understanding is you can't infiltrate a new country unless you understand the politics and you're part of the leadership team. Well, you know, our generation, we're creating doctors. We already have doctors. And so they're grooming the next set of leaders. And it starts today. So if I'm on that mountaintop, I would tell them exactly what my dad said. Do it. Just start. Take the day, have a plan, and execute. And you'll be surprised how far you get. Just have a plan and just start moving, and things just start happening. So and then after that, I probably give him like 16 bars or something. I have to entertain him a little bit.
Let me hear the 16 bars. Which 16 bars?
No, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. I don't do that.
I feel that. Hey, we're going to let you go. We do have a really large community of people. We got a lot of people in Atlanta. Is there anything specific that you need? How can we best serve you and your endeavors? We've got a broad audience with a lot of broad skills. So is there anything you need right now?
No, I would say definitely support my films.
Okay.
They're on BET, they're on Amazon, Hulu. Basically, if you do a search on my name, you'll see all the films.
Okay.
And then also, I would say follow me on social media, because you'll see we do a lot of casting calls. We do a lot of different things, and we actually serve the community. So there's an opportunity there for us to reciprocate. You help us, we help you. So I'm all for a symbiotic relationship.
Beautiful.
So
which social should they follow? Which one do you want to connect with?
Official Dolapo E on all platforms. Official Dolapo E.
Okay.
I just put it in the comments, everybody. So y'all know how we do when everybody blows up, goes into the DMs and just completely trolls him all day long. So it's in the comments. Hit it and go ahead and send a DM right now, especially if you're live. Go ahead and show him some love.
Yeah, blow this guy up today. Send out an encouraging message. Sir, we are so appreciative of your time. I know you're grinding. I know you're hustling. I know you're doing your thing. It's an honor to connect. I'm cheering for you, man. Cheering for you. Looking forward to all the things that you can do. Looking forward to getting to know you better. And
appreciate it.
Yes,
all right, team. Say bye to him. Hey, they were still here for the whole interview, man.
That's incredible.
I love it. They were patient.
Incredible. All right, I'm gonna pop you out, and Glenn, let you take us home from here. It's good seeing everybody.
See you, brother. Whew, that was it, ladies and gentlemen. And what a morning, and what a rush, and what a connection, and what a relationship. Make sure you blow this man up. He's out there doing it. He's got the team. I mean, think about that. He's got the team all gathered at 4:30. Actually, they're the same time over there. 4:30 in the morning over there in Atlanta, supporting, out there creating, doing amazing things. And he took the time to be here on our show, which is absolutely incredible. I also appreciate you for taking the time to be here on our show as well. It's been a fun week, backing it on out, having a good time. I'm learning how we can reverse the aging process. And that's another way to do it right there, is be chasing your dreams, living out your purpose. You want to feel youthful and young and excited. Do the things that you love. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back Monday morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do this all over again on #Rise and Grind. Have an incredible day.